$20 billion taxpayer dollars. That's how much foreign aid has gone to 18 Middle Eastern countries the past couple of years. Auditors at OpenTheBooks.com took a closer look at where your money is going and why. And CEO and founder Adam Andrzejewski joins us now with more on this investigation. Good morning, Adam. First, I want to define what is foreign aid. How do lawmakers and federal officials decide where, how much, and for what causes?
Well, this is U.S. taxpayer money that goes to promote global peace and security. It'll go for economic aid, food, humanitarian aid. I think the politicians that vote for U.S. foreign aid will tell you that it's in our own national security to provide economic development, stability, security for the rest of the world. Now, the latest public opinion polls show that the American people, when it comes to foreign aid and the funding of it, this is the first place that they would cut from the federal budget.
Now, we have a chart with some of your findings. Israel, our close ally, of course, at the top. Jordan, though, is next. And Jordan shares a border with Israel and the Palestinian territory of the West Bank. What did you find most surprising about your investigation?
So I think we found most surprising that about $50 billion a year goes for foreign aid, and $21 billion of that goes into the Middle East. And so, like you said, it's 18 countries, and Israel, of course, is the #1 recipient at $6.6 billion. But then you have the next 17 countries getting twice that amount. So they get about $14 billion a year. You've got Jordan as the #2 recipient in the Middle East, and they get about $4 billion a year. And they were actually the recipient out of any country in the world of 2 of the largest cash transfers. So they basically get cash to spend. Then you got Syria and Yemen. They get about $2 billion apiece, and they're hotbeds for terrorism.
And as you mentioned, most of this funding is from the U.S. Agency for International Development, but there's also agencies within our government. You know, you've got State Department, Energy, Interior. They also give money for projects, sometimes with little connection to U.S. economic strategies. So give us some examples of those.
So first off, the aid to Israel, about $7 billion during the 3 years of the Biden administration, that was all for defense. And now we understand just how critical that was. But you do have, to your point, a lot of these projects that are just frivolous. So for instance, into Saudi Arabia, that's a wealthy oil-producing country. They don't need taxpayer help. We ran a very expensive public relations campaign costing taxpayers $340,000 to protect cheetahs. In Jordan, we spent over $4 million to encourage them to recycle their trash. In other spots, you've got, like the West Bank and Gaza, you've got about $3 million that flowed in to help women entrepreneurs, and they're not known for their women's rights.
The U.S. has also given $1 billion to the United Nations Fund for Palestinian aid during the Biden years. So how can we be sure this aid did not fund terrorist organizations?
Well, we can't. Even the Biden administration, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says no guarantees. They try their best, but no guarantees. And Jan, I've got a great example of just how corrupt it is in Gaza and the West Bank. In Palestinian law, they actually have a provision to give money for mass murder. This is called pay for slay, where they're paying out over $300 million a year in lifetime pensions to the families of dead terrorists who mass murdered folks from around the world. Look, I'm from Illinois. It's the Super Bowl of corruption, but this is a whole nother level. U.S. taxpayer money should be going nowhere in the world where this is a matter of their public law.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, founder and CEO of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski. Great talking to you. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Thank you.